What up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and today we're going to be looking at some currency earning. Today we're looking at Valdo's Rest. If you guys played last league, you probably know what the farming method is going to be. In this video, I'm going to let you guys know about what you can expect to make, the best way to farm it in this zone, and how I rate it as far as all of the other things currently in the league that you could do. So let's jump right into it. The main farming thing that we're doing here is we're farming Harbingers. The Diplomatic Escort is actually pretty cool because it's a 30% chance to turn a Harbinger into a powerful boss, and it's basically kind of like the packs that we used to fight. The difference is last league it was a guaranteed like massive pack of Harbingers. This league it's kind of like the boss inside of the Harbingers map. The cool thing is that if you have a bunch of Harbingers or all of the Harbingers could hit that 30% chance. The downside for this league right now in this league is Harbinger scarabs are super expensive. Partially because we have less access to delirium. Also, probably because a lot of people are farming this. So those are some downsides. For my testing, I have pretty much the best possible watchstones outside of two very small upgrades that I could get. I have two tier 1 additional currency and rarities, and then I have a tier 1 stack with a tier 3 rarity, and then my primary is a more valuable currency with a tier 2 rarity. So I'm only missing about 10% rarity out of the maximum possible that you could get on this with all the best rolls. So this is like pretty close to an absolute best case scenario. So what is it that I've found? With the current price of the more expensive Harbinger scarabs, I 100% can say that they are not worth it. Like, the gilded scarabs are like 40, 50 plus C, and consistently you are going to be losing currency, not making it, even when you're running maps that are like 190% quantity or higher. I know this because I've got, added like, added like 50% quantity, and then the Awakener bonus and stuff like that. I can get over that quantity pretty consistently. I've ran a lot of maps like that, and the thing is it seems to me like the drops from the Harbingers are kind of just really random and not really affected that much by how high the rarity is. Um, a- it really feels like that because I ran a ton of really high maps, and then I've also just speed ran pretty much just whatever I evolved, and to see what it was that dropped, and it's kind of just seems really random to me. The main thing I think is just what it winds up selecting as far as what it is that's dropping, because really the only thing that is really making us currency is when we're getting Exalt shards. And unfortunately, that being the case, because we have really low value on our ancient orbs right now are only 16C. Annulment orbs are 3C. We're not really making currency unless we get those. Even going down to a polished scarab plus just using the atlas, we're talking about 14C into Harbinger costs per map, which means we need a whole ancient orb or we need some exalted shards on every single map just to break even at the rusted um, scarab level. If we move up to polished, it doubles our investment as far as scarab costs, and it doesn't pay off because we're only getting one more scarab, which only has a 30% chance to be a boss. And then even if it is a boss, there's, it still has to drop exalted shards or it's a loss there. So that doesn't pay off. Then if we move up to a gilded, now it's 4 times that minimum cost, or 10 times just the atlas cost, which that I haven't seen pay off one time. So I absolutely would not be running gilded scarabs. I absolutely would not be running polished scarabs. The only two ways that I've found it to consistently make currency is running rusted scarabs at 10C a piece. If it starts going much higher than that, I would just honestly just add the scarabs from the Atlas for 4C and just speed run it. And I honestly think that that's probably going to be the most consistently profitable thing. The reason why is for 4C, we get 3 Harbingers per map, which means that we're going to usually have one boss inside of each map. And then what's dropping for us? The mass majority of it's going to be profits for us. Instead of us having so much invested that we're like, all right, I need six exalted shards or I've lost currency. And sometimes you are going to get really nice drops of exalted shards, but not consistently. And if you're going into the hole on a map 30, 40C every single map, even when you do get those big sets of exalted shards, it's just going to be trying to make up for what you've already lost. So I the only way that I run this is with either the rusted or just with the Atlas added to it. The thing that I do want to say is the investment. How long is it going to take me to pay off the investment of these watch stones with the cost of me paying to run these? And this is really the big factor is it worth it? The total cost for me for this nice of watch stones, you could get them cheaper, but I spent about 25 EX, which makes it so that at the currency that I'm seeing after over 100 maps consistently, it's going to take me like 400 maps before I'm going to break even. Um, Personally, for me, I think that this kind of sucks because 400 maps, that's a lot. Even if I'm speed running, you know, even if I have all the maps that I need, I sustain, I'm just speed running. If I'm spending 2 to 3 minutes per map, which killing those bosses, just killing Harbingers makes the map actually take longer. Um, so that's not even realistic. It's a lot, a lot of game time before I actually hit a place where I'm even going to break even. And honestly, the currency doesn't really seem like it's going up very much. Compared to other things in other zones, I was making way better currency. Um, why is it that this isn't that good? I would say that in certain scenarios, like if the league was different, this could be a really profitable farming method. I don't have an issue with their new implementation of the diplomatic escort. It basically makes it so that you got to be putting some more harbingers in there to make it worthwhile. The thing is that because we have to invest to get those packs, and because of the really high cost of the Harbinger scarabs, it just puts it into a place where the currency is just really mediocre. And then on top of that, we have super low prices on ancient orbs, super low prices on annulment orbs, which this is kind of like a culmination of like everything that's changed this last league. I think a lot of people remember this being really good, so there's probably a lot of people doing it. Also, the ancient orbs are lower because they lowered the chance to get a headhunter from ancient orbs, so it's probably taking people more ancient orbs to wind up hitting the the headhunter, so they're not going to pay as much for them. The headhunter price is really high, so I would have felt like that should balance it out some, but it really hasn't. Maybe it's because there's such a high supply of them. I don't know, but the simple fact is 16, 15, 16C per ancient orb, 3C per orb of annulment. We're basically banking on just exalted shards, and the high cost of the Harbinger scarabs just make it so that the profit margin is so small that we'd probably be better off to just do something else. Me, I'm already invested. I invested to do the testing, so I'm probably going to play it a couple hundred more maps to break even, and then I'll probably be completely done playing this zone, just because it's really not that good of currency, and there's just better stuff on the Atlas. Or maybe I'll just try to sell my stones and see if I can get get most of my currency back. Um, so if someone were to ask me, would you farm this zone? Would you go out and buy these stones? I would absolutely say no. I would recommend something else. And I will be doing videos on the stuff that I have found much, much better, which I would have made a lot more currency if I was doing that instead of just testing this. The other note that I would like to make is if you don't have the watchstones, it's not even worth running. I tried it with, like just the rare currency drops, which is like, probably about an 80x watchstone. I tried it like that, and I was just making basically nothing. And at that point, you definitely don't want to be throwing scarabs in there because you're literally just throwing currency away. Um, Even with a few of the, even with like two of the additional stacks, I still wasn't seeing consistent currency. I needed the full set of stones to be consistently making something, and that was only if I was running only rusted scarabs or running no scarabs and just using the Atlas editions. And that's only counting the stuff that drops specifically from the Harbingers. So I, my rating at its place right now in the league is going to be a big thumbs down. I wouldn't recommend anyone to play it or invest into it. What I will say though is if you are already farming it, how to make it the best. The way that I've made it playable is by going ahead and running in the ghetto map. Why is it that I choose to run in the ghetto map? It gives me some extra chances to pick up some more currency. In the ghetto map, we've got a couple of good divination cards. We've got Dying Anguish, which is kind of like a gamble card that could turn into big currency. It gives you a level 19 alternate quality gem, just random. It could wind up hitting one that's worth a bunch of currency. That could be some extra currency. The other thing is it has Saint's Treasure there, which that's, like 30C for each one of those that drops. So that's really good. That is a way that you could boost your earnings. Maybe like every other map you hit one of these cards, or maybe like every three, it gives you like an extra 10C per map. If you take and throw in some of the cheaper divination cards, you might find a balance there that's going to pick you up a little bit more currency. Um, but that would be my recommendation is if you are going to play it, you need all the watchstones. Um, you need all ideal watchstones, and I would suggest that you run in ghetto. So if you plan on farming the zone, I would set all of your map drop slots to be ghetto to stock these maps up, and then make the most while you are farming that zone. Anyways, that's my take on this. I hope that this has been helpful. If you aren't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you guys have any questions as far as my testing or you want to add anything, go ahead and leave it a comment and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Peace.